Okay, wow. Welcome to the podcast. This morning we're back. It's just Luke and I this morning.
Yep.
So Luke, thanks for being here again.
Yeah,
faithful,
thanks
faithful.
For being here.
Appreciate it. We're here on a beautiful August morning in Ames, Iowa at Ada Hayden. Is it like Heritage Park or something?
Yeah, probably.
Something like that. But it's a beautiful estuary, if you will. We saw some fish swimming around. We joked about alternative fishing techniques.
Dynamite.
But yeah, so today's going to be an interesting episode. Today we are reflecting on the summer. As the summer draws nigh, we thought it would be a good practice to just reflect on kind of our spring through late summer adventures, some partners, some equipment, all that kind of stuff, and just help you think about your summer. And maybe you think like, wow, what I really wasted this summer. I was busy just working.
Not too late. We got time.
It's definitely not too late. So that's great input, Luke. There's time to, and not that the mundane things in world are wasteful. We obviously work hard for our families and for different things like that, and we do the things we have to do. But probably 8 or 9 years ago, my wife and I were doing this exercise in just thinking through our lives and the way we want to parent our kids. Maybe it was 9 years ago. But one of the things that we walked away with, and I do encourage you, if you have kids, to think about how do you want to discipline your kids? What are the values you want to raise your kids? And actually just articulate them in writing. But one of the values that we came away with was we want to travel. We just want to take adventures together as a family. And that was fresh off the heels of moving from California to Iowa. And we said, hey, we're now in Iowa. There's not a whole lot to do in Iowa. And now we've been here for like 11 years and we've discovered that is really true. But you can make the best of it, and we could talk about that too. But so we decided, let's just take little mini trips. And we're not talking giant, like let's go to Alaska for 2 months. We're talking, let's go to St. Louis. Let's go to Chicago. Let's go to Memphis, Nashville. Let's go to Kansas City. Let's go to Omaha. So we started on these just little city adventures, and then that expanded into camping and different types of things. So that's something we've been intentional about, and taking trips has played a big part into that. And I think it was largely a good thing for our family. So Luke, I know traveling is important to you. So what are some of the things that you've thought about? Is that intentional, or has it just like been haphazard?
I think a little bit of both. If it's long enough, I just get it inside me that I need to go travel. So
Yeah.
Just take off somewhere.
And I noticed with you, like probably a lot of people, you work in trips around events. Like a buddy's getting married, so you're going to some cool place.
Yeah, so that was one of the things this summer. A buddy was getting married up in Whistler, Canada, so decided, hey, as long as we're going to spend, I don't want to fly up there and spend a day and then fly back.
Right.
So we ended up taking a week and putzing around Whistler, Vancouver, Seattle.
Yeah, pretty sweet.
Oh yeah.
So we're going to talk about that. So today is a morning of reflection, and we're going to reflect on some of our relationships with our partners and what that means and why we would take time to actually talk about that. We're going to also talk about trips that we've taken individually with me, with my family, and also as an organization. So New Legend and our affiliate things, like our Terribles, we've taken some trips, and we have a couple more planned, so we'll talk about those as well. So but first, I want to thank you for listening. This has been an interesting journey. I think this will be episode 19 as you listen to it. And it's been a cool journey, learning experience for me. I know Luke, learning experience.
Big time learning experience.
Yeah, Luke is a big talker, so.
As I'm sure you all know.
Chatterbox.
Yeah.
So, but it's been good, man. It's been a cool way for Luke and I to talk about interesting things. We've definitely, like, my favorite thing by a long shot has been the opportunity for us to talk to interesting people.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
And so we're going to keep working on that. And but that's difficult for us. If you've noticed, if you listen via YouTube, we like to do it on location in person. So traveling to California, we have a couple cool geographic trips planned that will pull in people that live in those regions. Like we have a Phoenix kind of trip planned, Kentucky, probably another California. We'd like to get out to the Northeast. We have just some interesting people all around the country, which is really neat. We're also going to start having some of our customers and clients on, just because they're people that reflect, like this podcast is largely for them and about kind of their experiences. So, but thank you for listening. Yeah, we want to be we try to be entertaining, try to be informative, but our biggest goal is to encourage you and in any small way inform or educate you, but mostly inspire you to get out and do something cool. Just go do something, man. I don't care if it's like go fishing. Like, I haven't fished in 15 years. I hate fishing. Who cares? Go try it.
Grab a stick of dynamite and get out there.
That's right. Maybe a quarter stick. But especially camping, and man, it's just so awesome. I love it. Or even if it's, I mean, this sounds really weak, but like going out on a walk. Because some of us, man, I'm telling you, we're so busy. We like
get jammed in that routine, man. You just gotta mix it up.
Routine. And if you have kids, sometimes you get very mired down in like the world of organized youth sports, and it's just like, while you're in it, it's fun, and it's like, it's obviously you love seeing your kids and their friends and being a part of it. And I coach kids soccer teams, but when you step back for a second, you go like, man, we're grinding out these, traveling to like local towns to play these sports, but we haven't like gone on any trips in forever. And I feel like it's important to be intentional. So anyway, so let's start to reflect. So first, let's reflect on some of our partners. We talk a lot about our partners, and the reason why is we believe in the stuff. Because oftentimes, for example, it's hard to take a road trip to Nashville if you don't have a car. So
Very difficult.
You can rent a car, but nonetheless, the car is still enabling the adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, if you don't have a tent, I mean, you could definitely go camping and just sleep out under the stars, but that's often... Have you had any good sleeping under the stars experiences?
Done it.
Yeah, good, I guess, is the...
Good sleep or fun? It's been
Interesting.
Not good sleep.
Tell us about that a little bit.
I was on an island off in the Gulf of Florida, and we all decided to just go out and sleep on the beach. And so we grabbed our sleeping bags and a tarp and like...
Okay, so at least you didn't lay on the sand.
Yeah, we sort of dug like a little pit in the sand, but the wind was just constantly going, so the tarp was just all night long.
And you just wake up all dewy and just bugs.
And just like swollen eyes. But it was fun.
It's fun in retrospect.
I'll remember that forever.
The point is, definitely more sustainable practices to have a tent. And so there's levels. We've talked about this on earlier episodes of gear, and some people definitely like overdo it on the gear. One of the errors in gear is thinking like, I need all the perfect stuff and then I'll go do something. Definitely don't believe in that. I need the perfect truck, then I'll go do something. No, man, just go.
Don't know
something.
what you need till you do it.
That's right. Then you learn like, hey, but there are some basics. So, and a lot of our partners are solving problems for us that have just come up, and then we go like, hey, we like these guys, we like their brand, we like their product, let's work with them and talk about them into our sphere of relationships and people. So, Kenda Tires. We've talked about it ad nauseum, but it's not nauseating. It's great. But huge,
it's an important piece, man.
Piece to especially a vintage 4x4. So many people we know just have either the wrong tires on their truck or not the best tires, or like mismatched 4 different brands.
Yeah. That's that reference to me.
Yeah.
On the terribles, you gotta I got enough janky stuff that could possibly go wrong. I don't need to be worried about things blowing out and
we've been
apart.
Like Luke said last episode, I think we've done probably about 12,000 miles on the Kenda Cleaver RTs. Ben in the Claw, the yellow Scout, he's running the MTs.
Mm-hmm.
I have like a 67 800 that my daughter's been driving mostly this summer. That has MTs
on it? Yeah.
And they're decent, but I want to kind of talk more about the RTs. But definitely, man, we've gone 12,000 miles on-road, off-road, gravel, mud, rocks, and we collectively not one flat,
Yeah.
right? Not even a tire plug.
No troubles.
No troubles. We rotate them. We keep airing them, and they just are great all around. So, and I know there's other tires out there, but these are just great tire. Totally love them. Really fair price, and easy to get. So that's been great, and we're looking forward to. So we had a couple trucks with Kenda. Well, we had a truck at the Expo West booth. Thanks, Chuck, for that. That was fun. And yeah, we're going to be at Sema with Kenda. That's going to be super fun. We kind of revealed on Instagram our Sema build. Just super rad. 1975 Jeep Cherokee. 40,000 original miles.
Crazy fresh.
It's so amazing. And what's more amazing, it's from Minnesota.
Originally
Bought brand new in Minnesota. And there's some it lived those 40,000 miles. The old dude lived on a gravel road on a farm, and so it's got some like that, like the rockers kind of the paint gets basically blasted off by the rocks, and then it just has some surface rust. So we're gonna deal with it a little bit, but it's basically a patina build. Super fun because Kenda is debuting their AT tire, and we thought like, oh, what a perfect truck to do like a more stock-ish. We'll definitely put our new Legend spin on it, but they're like a 265 70 17, and we're going to be working with 1552 wheels. They have this cool analog HD that's going to be that's really the foundation
more retro
of the
style.
build. Yeah, but it's rad. It's going to be super cool. So going to be at Sema with them. That's going to be fun. Anything else? Stoked on tires.
They're great, man. Need them. Gotta have them.
And they're quiet. That's so important. We've talked about it again, but I want to just state it again, how important. You think like, oh, I'll just go get some mud terrains or some swampers.
The cheapest, most gnarly ones I can find.
Yes. And then you go, yeah, they're great when you're off-road, that 10%, unless it's like you're trailering it around. Most of our listeners are not doing that. But how annoying tire.
Super annoying, miserable gas mileage.
Yeah. And just poor handling.
Yeah.
So yeah, dig it. And also I think the Kendas come at a load rating than E, which is like more 10 ply, I think sidewall. And if Michael Higgs was here, he could talk more about it. But I think then like a C load range, which is more for like light truck, little more pliable sidewall, little softer ride. But anyway,
I'm sure they can look it up.
you could look it up. But anyway, that's been great. FSR. This is more on me than Luke because you have not slept in an FSR.
I have
yet.
not slept in it. Set them up.
Have you set him up?
They set up
because that's
easy.
almost more important than sleeping in it.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Set up and tear down is pretty important.
And that's like the more and more So one thing you don't want is like to get a piece of gear or equipment that is more hassle.
too annoying to use.
Yeah, that just becomes so like it's so annoying that you don't want it. Then you don't want to use it.
Yeah.
So then it actually keeps you from going like, I can go camping this weekend. I don't want to set up that stupid tent. Like, no, I'll just stay at home and watch TV, or to YouTube.
Go to some youth sports instead.
Yes. So that's, I think, the biggest. I mean, obviously the build quality has been great, and we've worked with other more traditional tent companies that the build quality is great, and it's a proven. Some of the more traditional tent companies, it's a proven form factor. However, that setup time, man, and just from both like the rain fly, like because most tents have like the tent and then some sort of rain fly, and the FSR High Country series.
Is it kind of all in one?
Yeah, it's kind of. There's a rain fly on just the dome, but just four-sided ventilation. No zippers, dude. I hate zippers. Like I really do.
Oh, for like the cover?
Yeah, like the cover. When you have to unzip that cover, it's like, and it's obviously like normally on a roof
stuck.
rack, so it's difficult to reach.
Zipping over fabric.
Yeah, it's
Just
so annoying.
swearing, throwing things.
Just chucking the tent.
Was Moab the first time you had used and slept in the FSR? The Moab trip?
No.
You'd taken one before that?
I had the Adventure series on the Base Camp
that's
Bourbon.
right,
No,
on the
actually
Bourbon.
we had it on the Hampton. at Copper State.
Oh yeah.
So the Adventure Series is cool, but number one, the cover. So like when it's in its closed position, there's a rain cover that covers the tent. FSR said like we're not going to do zippers. We're just going to do, and it's actually pretty amazing how they don't get wet.
It's just
I've been in like torrential rainstorms.
elastic and straps.
It's just elastic and straps, and you just like so you unclip 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 buckles, which take 30 seconds. Just clip, pull the top off, and then then you just like whoop, like you've grabbed the thing and folded up the rainfly. Everything's ready to go. And then there's like these rods, so you clip in like the rods to kind of hold the awning, if you will, out. And then on ours, that it's on the FSR Adventure Trailer, another product that we'll talk about in a second, there's like these support legs because the tent's huge and it can sleep like 4 people. Our magic number, and it's the High Country 80-inch, it's called. 3 people and all their luggage, perfect fit. And it's nice having your luggage in your tent, so that you can change and just have a place for privacy. Okay, so that is attached to this FSR Adventure Trailer. Now, my wife and I have talked, and they've been really fun conversations, but probably, I don't know, 50 hours collectively about like...
I know you've been back and forth. What's the best form factor?
Yeah.
Tent on the car,
yeah, and still
trailer,
my wife's like, I want to get a Sprinter.
Camper, Sprinter.
Yeah, so, but all I can say is we're not sure. But however, having Luke and I, in preparation for this episode, we're talking about kind of transformative experiences, and the FSR Adventure Trailer has been a kind of a paradigm shift for us because we've been largely just vehicle based. So what that means is when you get to camp, you set up your rooftop tent, you set up your cook system, like kind of traditional overlanding style. You set it all up, and then to move the vehicle, you have to break it all back down.
Yeah.
So what even on an off-grid adventure, we're typically like, let's go into town and get some food, or let's go to the grocery store. But we already set everything up. So if you have like a moped or motorcycle, that's more stuff. So the ability to like leave a base camp, remember on our Moab trip, like the ability to leave that FSR, leave all your luggage, all your stuff, even your cook system, more with the trailer than with the vehicle. Then you could just jam your vehicle and you go and you're free. So that's been really huge, and it's super lightweight. It tows great. Like we recently, another trip we'll talk about quickly, is went to Montana, Wyoming, and South Dakota, and I mean 80 miles an hour on those open Midwest roads.
With the trailer?
Yeah, tracked great. It's super light. Another cool thing is if you have children, particularly if you have a Scout or a vintage 4x4.
Just put the kids in the trailer. And
and all the gear in the truck. But no, just the ability to clear out the truck a little bit. Because normally, like in the old days, we had sleeping bags, luggage, everything's packed everywhere. Like there's barely any room to sit inside
People are
the
holding
truck.
bags on their laps.
And our truck, man, we drive. It's been a Scout Traveler and a Suburban. But I have 4 kids, and as the kids get bigger, I mean, little kids, they have a lot of stuff. But as the kids get bigger, this physically take up more space, and it just gets crowded. So the ability to go like, for me, I like kind of to have some order in when I'm traveling and in my vehicle. So to get all that stuff out of the car and into the trailer has been really awesome. Including like the Discata, the solar stuff, like all that stuff, get it out of the truck into the trailer. So
you're getting more and more sold on the trailer style of
definitely
camping and moving.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll have some announcements on some things we're thinking about in that regard for next season. Yeah. It won't be a surprise, but so that's been cool. And FSR, cool company. Remember, NL 200, you get $200 off any tent over $1,500, which I think is all of them. My one little pro tip / request from FSR would be, in any rooftop tent, is like some kind of like fitted sheet, because you basically, like, if you roll off your sleeping bag or if you just use a quilt or blanket, you don't want to sleep. And this gets a little gross, but so we've camped quite a bit this year already.
Okay.
And Heather just like appropriately washed all of our sleeping bags, and it was like amazing how much more fluffy and just bright they were. So you don't realize, because at home, like, you wash your sheets, but you might sleep in a sleeping bag for 2 years and never wash it. And it's just like your body oils and just all that stuff just gets a little gnarly. So in the FSR, that's one thing we're going to make is a sheet. And it's not the same size as like a home bed sheet. So like we're going to have to get one made.
And have you checked? They don't make that kind of thing?
I don't think so. But again, if anyone knows about a rooftop tent, particularly like a little padded sheet or like a puddle pad, if you got kids.
Puddle pad?
Yeah. When you got kids, they love peeing. They love peeing in the bed.
Oh man.
And that's the last thing you want is a urine box.
Yeah.
So anyway, cool stuff there. Midland radio,
Great.
game changer.
Trying to call it like yelling at each other through the windows, calling each other on cell phones.
So annoying.
So annoying.
Particularly because you call one dude, like in our terribles trips, like we're typically caravanning in 4 or 5 different rigs.
And you're trying to hash out details.
Yeah, so it's like texting, grouped. It was very difficult. Then we went through a CB phase.
That was a huge failure.
The CB phase was the shortest thing ever. It was like one trip. We're like, these don't even work.
Didn't really work.
Now, I know truckers use them forever. Citizens band.
Yeah.
But
Didn't work for us.
so we quickly just started doing some internet research and found this company Midland that has is it like GSMR? I've kind of not researched it in a while, but there's a couple like of frequencies. I'm not even going to speak about it because I'll sound like an idiot. But it's
like,
not like ham radio.
It's like FRS is, I think, kind of just regular basic walkie-talkies. And then,
okay. And then
I think it's GSMR.
GSMR.
Not ASMR.
Right. But awesome, dude. The ability to communicate in both, like they have some stronger wattage, like not permanent mount, but because they do have, they're easy to install on it.
Well, they do come with they come with a cigarette plug and just like a magnetic antenna.
Yep.
So if you wanted in 30 seconds, you can take them, put them in a different vehicle.
So great. So that, man, and just an essential part of our kit now. We won't take a trip without them. Heather and I went on a cruise this summer. Speaking of summer reflections, definitely personally, I think my other family members, it was like my mom wanted to take us kids who are we're getting older and our kids are getting older. She's like, I want to take you all on a cruise. So we went to Mexico.
Seems like fun. The whole group.
It was fun. It was definitely fun being with everybody, having everyone together.
But you wouldn't consider yourself a cruise person.
Nah, man. Just going to Jimmy Buffett things in Acapulco or whatever. We didn't even go there, but we went to Cabo and Mazatlan. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like being shuffled around like cattle. Like just like you just follow this prescripted.
So it was a little kind of herded.
A little bit. In Puerto Vallarta, we had some inside knowledge. So like we got to port and then we just got an Uber, which was super fun to talk to those guys. And we Ubered to this town called Sayulita, and we rented surfboards for $5 a day and just surfed and Punta Mita, like it's all up in that, like, but it's like an hour and a half Uber ride. And then we stayed too long. We couldn't get an Uber back. We got taken by this taxi racket. It's pretty funny. But all those things are part of taking trips. So, but we brought the Midland handhelds on that trip,
nice.
and on the cruise it was cool. They have some stupid like pay-to-play texting
your phones
service.
Work?
No.
Yeah.
We did get like $100 bill from one of our kids using like international roaming.
Just the most elite prime.
You had to watch a video or something. little rats. So Midland radio, definitely attainable. I think we have a code for Midland as well, but
we'll post that up.
We'll post it up, yeah. Or not.
If we do.
Just contact us. Like, dude, I'm telling you, even if you have more than one person, like meaning if more than one vehicle, if you have 2 vehicles, the Midland radios, even the handhelds, will change your trip, and the ability to talk to everybody, really great. I mean, we use it as a tool to like stay awake late at night. Remember we tell jokes and like really fun.
That's good.
Just really fun to be able to communicate or talk about food options, like how everyone's doing.
And again, that's one of those pieces of equipment that came out of just necessity.
Right.
Taking road trips, and we had this problem of communication.
Yes. And like probably again like the safety aspect of being able to, like, because our road trips are pretty grueling, like particularly our terribles ones. But when you're driving like 11 p.m. into like 1 a.m.,
And Sean's got his left blinker on, and then rapidly takes a right off the interstate and ditches everybody.
Yeah, the favorite phrase for me on the radios is winky winky, blinky blinky. So I just leave my blinkers on all the time.
Are always on.
Sorry, man. I just get wrapped up, focused on other things. But like Luke, like one time you're like, guys, I'm not doing all right. Like we're pulling over, and Luke's driving in a snowstorm in the terrible, like with no doors.
Need a little break, man.
Yeah. So anyway, Midland Radio started to be taking so much time talking about this stuff. Treaty Oak, again, game changer for us. Like we've been taking these wheeling adventure trips, and I've had like some old, toe straps from back in the day, but having like a nice recovery kit that has those soft shackles, which those are an amazing innovation.
Pretty versatile.
Yeah.
Versus just like regular D shackle that's got
which
one
you
spot
still need like
go.
a D shackle.
Yeah.
Probably two. But the soft shackles are just safer, easier to use, and they're not 100% exchangeable, meaning you're not going to use it in every situation. But they're fast. And then there's a kinetic rope, which is very interesting because it's like made from it's going to take some of the
you don't get as much shock load.
The shock load, right? Yeah. So if someone's stuck in mud or sand, and the vehicle that's pulling it out is also in a soft surface, you would use the kinetic rope.
Yep.
And it just helps by taking out the shock. I don't know if it gives any.
You get the same energy, but it's just softer.
Yeah.
If not more energy.
And then obviously a traditional
kind
toe
of a
strap,
start.
a tree strap for winching, set of gloves. So having that, we've had, dude, like we would have been kind of screwed without those.
A little bit hosed
both on
times.
our Moab trip. We were on a trail, an unspeakable trail, and Ben's broke his rear drive shaft, and on slick rock, like going up steep inclines with front wheel drive is just not cool. Maybe in a Corolla, but in a Scout, just the way it loads the suspension,
dicey stuff.
So we got out, but we had to use Luke towed the claw like for probably 5 miles or something. And it's just it makes it way safer having that. And then on our Dirt Every Day shoot, which is going to be fun, watch for the episode coming out. So Dirt Every Day, great fun off-roading show with Fred and Dave, teamed up with Anything Scout, our international Scout brand, and we went on this kind of super fun camping woods romping mud adventure
trip.
And those guys are lunatics, and so
they drive hard.
Dude, Dave was driving, and he literally like broke the front ball joints, broke the whole front wheel off, everything.
Is this episode coming out soon?
Yeah, it's coming out soon.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Is this supposed to be secret?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway,
make sure to look for that. Watch that. It's entertaining.
It's more fun.
Good.
Yeah, this will make you want to watch it more. Not like it's like a spoiler that makes it more interesting. Oh, really? That happened?
Oh yeah.
And like to any Dirt Everyday fans, like really that's a surprise that they broke the rig. It's like every episode.
Seems to get pretty standard.
So, but anyway, man, we used that the Treaty Oak stuff. Got the truck out. It would have been. I mean, it would have drug it out with chains, but chains are dangerous, man. I don't like using chains, unless it's 2 chains.
2 chains,
then it's different. Okay, so get a good extraction kit, recovery kit. Treaty Oak's great company. Kyle over there is good guy. Last one I'll talk about is just Nemo, long-term friends and partners. That was our first New Legend Scout 2 build we built with Cam from Nemo, and I would say also has been transformative gear, like discovering sleeping pads and just different things.
That was my first sleeping pad.
Yeah.
I used to I'd throw a bunch of bags in the back of my truck and just sleeping on
and it makes a difference,
super
right?
uneven, rough luggage.
Did it make a difference?
Oh, huge difference.
And you're like a younger dude, robust.
I used to just think like sleeping on the earth was the way to do it.
Yeah, it is.
And then I wondered why I would always wake up sore and cold in the middle of the night.
For me, Nemo, and so a big thank you to Cam and his team there, has really turned camping into something my wife loves to do, because she didn't want to be uncomfortable. And that's one thing that Nemo does, is like they kind of take this hardcore edge, even though they have like really innovative quality stuff. They say it's okay to be comfortable when you're backpacking, car camping, hunting, whatever the activity is. It's okay to be comfortable and have some of those comforts of home. So little design features in their bags. I personally love the foot pump
Yep.
sleeping pads, because when you have kids and you're on a backpacking trip and you're blowing up 4 dumb
You're up
sleeping
in the
pads,
mountains and you're like,
you're like 8,000-9,000 feet, and you're like
just got done
basically
hiking
passing
for the day.
out. I hate it. And like some sleeping pads are super crinkly. The Nemo ones, they try to really mitigate that crinkleness of lightweight materials. Yep. Rad tents, the Cosmo, not the Cosmo, what's it called? The
Cosmo's the pad.
The Stargazer.
Stargazer?
Is that right?
I don't know. I don't know the tents well enough.
No, it's not a tent. It's a chair.
Oh yeah.
It's like a reclining
Stargazer.
luxury. To get the deluxe one, Stargazer. That's what it's called. Yeah, so cool. We use those a lot in Colorado.
Remarkably comfortable chair.
Yeah, super fun. So that's the stuff and there's more. Any other, like, I'm a big fan of these Alubox. Oh yeah, Alubox or Wolfpack, just like packing solutions. Trying to stay organized. Like, so how do you put all your stuff? Most people just use random Rubbermaid bins, which work. The Aluboxes are cool because you can step on them. Mm-hmm. They are definitely waterproof, like 100% waterproof.
I'm too cheap at this point. I'm Rubbermaid bins, and then I'll like put clothes
stuff in bags.
Old grocery bags to keep
that's not bad.
Coordinated.
Surprisingly, so an Alubox, like for a 42 liter, which is like a nice average size, I think they're like $250 each. They're made out of aluminum.
It's quality, man. It'll last, I guess. That's the good.
Pass it down to your kids.
Yeah.
Don't you have one?
No.
Like, no, you have an aluminum box.
Like a knockoff. Well, my brother's got like a. It's not a knockoff.
But it wasn't like a hand-me-down from grandpa or something.
It was from like an industrial work application.
Okay. But I've seen these aluminum boxes. Like, one of my friends, someone else I know has one that's like, this is like my grandfather's. Like, so they're gonna last a long time. Not gonna crack. But then there's like the wolf packs from Front Runner. Those are plastic. I think they're $50 or less. Same size. They're stackable. They are not quote unquote waterproof, but I've had great success with them leaving them out in the rain and they stay dry. So for kitchen organization, even clothing, like whatever, just those are as I'm just thinking back on other cool things. I also got a partner cook stove. That thing's pretty cool. Just having good ways to cook. Oh yeah. So another little quick point. On this last trip, we just took a family camping trip to Estes Park, Rocky Mountain National Park. It was really fun. I went with 2 of my best friends from high school and their family, so our kids are all kind of growing up, and it was really rad to do that. If you're ever in Estes Park, check out they have a little skate park. Skate park's kind of lame, Estes Park, but the pump track and the mountain bike track is awesome. They have this concrete pump track for skating, which if you're getting a little older but love skateboarding, it's all the fun
And a pump
parts.
track's just a continuous with
like
a
a
bunch
loop.
of whoops that you can work your way around without having to push.
Yes,
essentially.
it's so fun, and it's a great workout and it's great exercise, and it's just super fun. So, what was I talking about?
Pump tracks, Estes Park, wolf packs.
Oh, sorry, I coughed and then I lost my train of thought. But anyway, it'll come back to me. I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember. But anyway, we'll just transition.
All right.
Okay. So let's kind of talk about what are some notable trips. We started with Moab, beautiful place. Highly recommend it.
First time I had been there. You'd been there.
I'd been there
couple
once,
times.
like with a vehicle
Found
once.
some trouble there before.
I've been there a few times, but beautiful place.
Beautiful.
Like, blow your mind. Cool. And the fact that it's still, I'm so grateful that we live in a country that there's still open land like that, because for hiking, And like it's basically Moab's right next to Arches. Like Arches is right in
Arches, I think Canyonlands. Right
Canyonlands,
there.
Zion. It's all right in this little
Pretty
area
close.
of Utah, which is gorgeous. But Moab's just what I love about it is it's a cool kind of hip downtown. So there's like cool coffee shops, ice cream shops, restaurants, and right off that main area there's a bunch of campgrounds, literally like off the main drag, and then there's also definitely like BLM land. So if you want to like kind of more overland or like just primitive camp, there's endless
Plenty of that.
opportunities, and it's you're just camping in the most beautiful.
There's just
surroundings.
mountain biking, off-roading, hiking.
Yeah.
Just everything.
Hard to do in a couple days, man. If you go to Moab, so if you go to Moab, go like you probably want to avoid going in the dead of summer. Like we went in May and it was pretty ideal. It was perfect. It was cold and a little rainy maybe, and then in the fall it's super good. So check out Moab. Go get some friends. Put it on the bucket list. Bring your family. It's awesome. Be careful. You can get yourself in trouble very quickly in an off-road vehicle. What do you think about this, Luke? I'm not a big like UTV guy.
Okay.
I don't. They just are like cockroaches.
Doesn't do it for you?
I don't know. They're just everywhere, man. And they like swarm all these. So like Moab's packed with these UTVs.
Have you ridden and driven in one?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
They're amazing. Like they're technologically amazing. Like you can go buy a UTV for 20 grand. It'll cost you 80 grand to build a rock crawler. That'll do the same thing. And a lot of like in Montana, for example, I know in Wisconsin, a lot of states, like you could just drive them around. Like in Montana, you just
illegal.
pay for a different license plate for it, and it's 100% drive it everywhere. It's kind of, except
cool.
I think on like the major highways.
Right.
But it's pretty cool. I think it's what Scouts and old Jeeps used to be. Like they're just ranch hand kind of things that like.
But you think they're just kind of consuming?
Anyway, they're just everywhere because they're so accessible, right? And a noob, someone with zero driving experience, can hop in one and do like these really tough trails, and it's I just like paying your dues a little
trails
bit.
they maybe shouldn't be doing. You're saying.
But maybe not because the vehicles are so capable.
That's where Moab was a big learning experience for me. Just learning my vehicle. What's my ground clearance? When I see a ledge that looks like this, does that mean I'm going to bottom out and break this, or is that fine? And so there's a lot of learning experience for me.
And what's interesting about Moab is the traction is a lot better than you expect. Like the slick rock is actually not slick at all. It's very grippy. And
Super grippy.
Yeah, you look at this steep thing and you're like, wow, can I do that? But it also, that's why you can get into trouble because it's like, oh, I can do this stuff.
Right.
So take your time. Go slow. Be careful. UTV. So here's my point. So what do you think about this?
But at the same time, don't be afraid to try stuff.
That's right.
Just
So let's say you're
learning your balance.
listening to this podcast and you have a Toyota Sienna minivan.
Okay. All-wheel drive?
All-wheel drive, yeah.
Sweet.
But you don't, like, the ground clearance is so poor, but you still want to go to Moab and have a good adventure. Dude, just you can rent Jeeps, like modern Wranglers. You can rent UTVs. I think the UTVs, like, I don't even know if you need a license to drive those. You definitely need a license to ill.
License.
No license. I don't know. But because I've seen kids driving them, and I don't know if that's legal or not.
But there's also, so one thing we got is we purchased just like kind of a trail guidebook that says, gives you kind of the lowdown on trails, sort of expectation of time frame and lifted or not lifted. Will you need lockers, that kind of stuff. Because there's a lot of trails that you could just ride in a Sienna and have plenty of fun.
You think so?
I think so.
Because like the Vista Overlook one thing we did the first day was like a blue square.
We did the second day. We did like a blue or a green that was it was super gorgeous on the side of a cliff. No, when you were off somewhere else.
Oh, that one.
We just did kind of a fun little cruising trail.
And it was gorgeous. Still gorgeous.
Gorgeous. Yeah. But it's super basic. Still tons of fun. And then just also like not trying to show off or prove anything. Just going,
if you have a Previa, you probably could definitely do it.
I'm going to stack up some rocks so I don't bust my bumper. Not like I can make that. I'm gonna
for example, I took my wife's Jeep. She has a 2015 or 16, whatever it is, 2015 Grand Cherokee. And it's cool. It has all like traction control, all this, like, I don't know, I don't like it, but this little help you drive stuff.
That looks like rock.
Yeah. But it's also like the way the bumpers are cut, like you have the worst ground clearance in the
Terrible
world.
ground clearance.
So you have to we were stacking rocks and.
But making sure you're not with people that are just like, come on, don't be a sissy, do it.
Right.
You don't be like, no, this is valuable. I'm going to take care of it.
Protect the asset. But anyway, just get out there. Worst case scenario, even if you have a Nissan Sentra, get out there, go rent a Jeep for a day or rent just to see if you like it. If you're thinking about getting a vintage 4x4, which I think Moab's definitely cooler in a vintage 4x4 than a UTV or a Wrangler. Because when you go, there's what you see is beautiful mountains, awesome trees, beautiful landscape,
and Jeeps.
And Jeep Wranglers, no offense, and tons of UTVs. So these cool, iconic Scouts come on the thing. It's just
you get more thumbs up.
Yeah, it's rad.
When you're in something unique.
Okay, so, and then we camped in town. We did wish that we would have camped in more on the BLM land where they have pit toilets, because it's just such beautiful. You're nestled in these rocks and stuff, and
a lot more real experience. But having a shower was nice.
That's why we did it, because we were coming off the expo. Also, let's start with that Overland Expo. Recommend or don't recommend?
Recommend.
Yeah,
it's been fun because it's been kind of unique for us every year. We've been in different spots and had different sort of
super
settings.
Fun. Overland Expo West. It's a great gathering point. My snarky comment would be, don't make that your overlanding experience. I went and camped at Overland Expo West.
That is not necessarily a trip.
You're right. It's just a gathering place. You'll learn a lot. Really cool people. Well done event.
If you want to get your hands on gear, there's tons of gear there, so you can kind of look at it and check it out and ask questions
and meet the makers, and the company owners, and it's really fun. But you'll definitely dig it. And Overland Expo East, I don't even know I think it's coming up. It's coming up in October, I think. May go to that, may not, but either one of those events super cool, but especially West. And it's kind of a great pilgrimage to go to this Flagstaff. Is beautiful. So Flagstaff, Moab. Then we kind of had not a ton. What did we do? Any other trips with the company?
Kind of the shop trips? I don't think so.
We were planning a bunch, but we've had individual trips that have kind of I had to go on that cruise. Then we went to Montana, Wyoming, South Dakota. I definitely recommend putting the Black Hills, Devil's Tower. Put that stuff on your list. It's very accessible. Tons of camping. Absolutely beautiful. Opened my eyes to it in a new way that was dude, this is amazing. There's rock climbing. Super fun.
Did you guys kind of camp out of the bourbon the whole way?
Yes. Yeah, we had the FSR adventure trailer, so that was really key. And we just spent a week, dude, in Montana. We went to kind of the Mount Rushmore, Devil's Tower, which you have to.
Gots to.
Custer's a cool town. But yeah, put it on
your drug.
Yes, of course. I went once. I don't think I'll go again.
You saw the 10,000 signs and said you had to.
You have to, but not. I wouldn't go back again. It's a wall drug. No offense, wall drug. But put it on your list. You got to do it.
I've been there once.
Yeah, exactly. And it's fun. There's quirky old towns and West. It's just Western themed. It's fun and but the places are gorgeous. There's Badlands. So we actually went there. We said we're gonna spend some time in the Black Hills. Well, we were in Montana. We didn't go into Yellowstone because we didn't have enough time. We're gonna focus on the Black Hills. So we spent 2 or 3 days there. But then we were gonna hit Badlands, which Badlands I've heard is also really amazing. But we didn't want to we're always rushing around.
Yeah.
So we decided not to do it because I didn't want to just go in for one day. So we're gonna go back. Have you ever been to any of those places?
Yeah, I went camping in the Badlands.
Pretty cool.
Super unique terrain.
Yeah,
super crazy.
Fossils everywhere.
We were just there for part of a day, which is classic problem is you want to do all this stuff so you don't do any of it well. You just spend a little bit in a bunch of locations.
Which is nice when you have your camping setup dialed, because you can set up and break down quick, and you see a lot and experience a lot, and that's definitely, I don't discourage that style, but for us on this trip, it was my wife is always dude, can we just spend a day in somewhere instead of just ripping around everywhere? And so that was fun. Then you went to, you said Whistler?
Yep, up to Whistler for a wedding.
What do we got to know about Whistler?
If you're in Whistler, go up to Joffrey's Lakes.
Okay.
It's this, I don't know, 3 or 4 mile hike or something, and you see 3 different lakes as you're going up. But the amazing, like, we were hiking along and going up to the second lake, and we got to a point where my buddy just stopped. And he like points up at the mountains. He's like, I know this. I've seen this. I did this puzzle.
No way.
Like, what?
Get it like a jigsaw
He's
puzzle?
like, I have this puzzle at home. Like, I've always wondered where this is.
Wow,
but we were
that's
standing
cool.
like on the location
That's
this picture
rad.
was taken from.
Huh.
But it's super gorgeous, incredibly.
And what's the terrain
clear
like?
water.
Is it like it's mountainous, right?
It's mountainous. I mean, there's these lakes are just like mountain runoff,
Okay.
so it's wicked cold. We went
Wow.
swimming in them, super clear.
Cool.
But that'd be my recommendation if
And
you're around there.
Whistler's it's in British.
Whistler's like, yeah, maybe an hour north of Vancouver.
Okay, cool. I
but
had
yeah,
never been up there, man.
super gorgeous.
You've been up
area.
there a few times.
Yeah, it's amazing. For sure.
Have you skied up there?
Yeah, I did ski a couple years ago. I skied in Whistler Blackcomb. Is
Pretty
the
amazing.
mountains, and yeah,
Epic.
like top notch.
I got to put it on my
Yeah,
next year.
it's incredible. But yeah, I was up there for about a week, and then one of the buddies I was with flew back, and so me and another friend took the Greyhound down to Seattle to kind of putz around. Went to a baseball game.
You know,
We were there for the
Iceland was
4th of
last
July.
year, right?
Iceland was at least last year.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, last summer.
Yeah. Okay. So you did Whistler.
So-
Didn't you go somewhere else this summer?
Man, I'm trying to remember.
Go to Colorado.
I haven't gone to
Okay.
Colorado yet. I think I had something written down. Where else did I go?
So yeah,
Like
while you're
that's
thinking
kind of
about
the biggest trip.
Okay,
Yeah,
that was your big epic.
just little stuff around Iowa. But
Then we took a family trip to Estes Park. Again, fun. Did some hiking in Rocky Mountain National Park. But the money thing we did, and this is going to be a strong encouragement to every family with kids, individual or like kids over the age of probably 7 or 8. We went whitewater rafting for our first time. It's been on our bucket list forever. We went on the Cache de Poudre or something. It's in right out of Fort Collins, A1 rafting or something. Quality people, quality outfit. It's like $75 a person. We did like this class 3 and 4 plus.
do you kind of say where you want to be as far as class? Or
Yeah, because
just-
we're like, our kids are all older, and like our youngest is 14, and we're just at all these teenagers, and so we're like, let's do something. We don't want to do like the weenie one.
Yeah.
So we went, and this isn't the most hardcore, but I think it's like it's called the Scenic Wild River or something. So beautiful. Guides were super cool. And dude, it's rad, man. It's so adventurous. It's so like adrenaline pumping. You're like, when you get into like class 3s and 4s, it's like, have you ever gone?
I haven't, no.
I want to do it as a shop. So we'll actually do it and make a video. But put it on your bucket list, man. I know like Northern California, there's a ton. I think in most of like the Western states.
So this was in Estes?
No, we stayed in Estes. We drove to Fort Collins.
Oh, okay.
And we rafted out of Fort Collins. It was like we were on the river for 2.5 hours, and it took like most of a day. Fort Collins is a super cool town.
Super cool.
So you should go there. That's what I love, man. That's what's so cool. I think, in the kind of the demographic that we're talking to is like, not like people listening to this podcast are not necessarily going to be like, I'm going to go hike the Pacific Crest Trail and spend 3 months out backpacking. I mean, maybe, but it's more for the person that's working, trying to scratch out a living, or just busy running a business, doing something cool, but getting out, checking out cool cities, checking out cool camping spots. And that's kind of the flavor that we take. So like anytime we go camping, we love camping, but we also like going into town and checking out cool restaurants and cool places to shop and just check out local stuff.
And you guys go to Estes almost every year?
Well, it's been like, I think it was
Every other year or
4 years ago the last time we
Really?
were there. Yeah, 3 years ago or something.
Man. I thought this. But you guys have been there.
Yeah,
a
few
number
times.
of times.
Estes
so
Park's
it's-
great.
so
It's
you're
really
learning
cool.
more and more and exploring new things. And
Yeah, I
some
want to
stuff
get into
dialed.
other wilderness areas. I've not spent much time in Durango. Have you been to Durango? I've heard it's beautiful down there. We still have to do our climbing adventure.
The 14er.
Yeah,
Let's do it,
multiple.
Man. I'm ready. 14ers.
Okay, so that's kind of the trips we've taken. what do we have planned coming up? So coming up, we have we're going to the Nationals, the Scout Nationals. We're heading there again with our Anything Scout brand today. We're leaving today. That's going to be fun. Cool show. It's cool to just see the history of the model. So like, I don't know if there are equivalent things in the Bronco and FJ world. There's a lot of Jeep shows, but the Jeep shows get dominated by like new JKs and stuff like that. So I don't know if there's an equivalent in other brands, but it's neat, man. All these IH kind of fan people come together and like to show their Scouts and travel trucks.
Lots of good history.
Yeah, tractors. Like there's less tractors, but some. It's just a really good time, man. Fun. There's usually a couple hundred trucks and a few hundred people. So that'll be fun. That's in Troy, Ohio. Heart of the Rust Belt. Which I enjoy being in that part of the country as well. So we have that going on. Then we have the biggest one is Sema. That's like our biggest thing. So we'll be out there with Kenda. That's going to be fun. But we're talking about some things. We have some Colorado overlanding stuff that we've been kind of nibbling around, kind of thinking about jumping into.
Just watching videos on Engineers Pass last night.
Pretty cool.
Looks super sweet.
And Black Bear Pass, Tin Cup Pass. There's like so many cool things there. So we're going to try to do something like that. My wife and I celebrate 25 years of marriage this year, so I think we're going to go to Hawaii for a week.
Oh, man.
So
sweet.
Get out, get with your friends and family, take a cool trip. So let's talk one last thing, Luke. How has reflect on the impact of like a vintage 4x4 in all these contexts that we've talked about? Kind of like, because there's a certain lifestyle that comes around driving and owning a vintage 4x4.
A lot more maintenance.
Yes.
That's definitely a thing. But for me, I think the biggest thing is just when I'm driving with friends or meeting people or whatever, it just, I don't know, just kind of, people love it. It just brings a smile to their face and they're just, start storytelling. I mean, I know we've said that before over and over, but it just continues to be true when I'm just meeting new people. And I went to this music festival this summer just in southern Iowa.
And you brought...
And I took the Terrible down there.
Nice.
Because it had the fridge and tent and that kind of stuff. But yeah, the dude that was like coordinating the whole thing came over and was chatting. He's like, "Oh yeah, I used to have a Scout back in the day. This thing's sweet, man. This is like the off-roader's dream right here."
Yeah,
and it's just
that's cool.
So it's just fun. Easy conversation piece and just
and I think that is it, man. Like even like our family camping rig right now is a 1991 Chevy Suburban, and it's all original. It's pretty awesome. That doesn't elicit as much response as like a Scout or like if you're driving an old Wagoneer or something. But just endless thumbs up, man, from people on the roads, and like you said, just making people smile, causing other people to reflect, creating these deep, rich memories and a connection with a thing. It's kind of a unique experience, and I'm actually interested in some of you guys out there and girls that are listening that have recently acquired a vintage 4x4, or like even if you've grown up in one, but like we don't get enough interaction with kind of our listeners, so like we're trying to do a better job of trying to create ways to communicate with people listening to the podcast. So I don't know, shoot a comment on a YouTube video. That's probably the easiest way, or you can shoot us an email at New Legend. But yeah, tell us your stories about what you think is so cool. I'm particularly interested in the people that have recently acquired one. Like, how is it different than driving your Yukon or whatever, or your minivan? Because I think it is. I think it is. And it's really cool and fun. And one thing that's been really cool, my daughter, Liv, she's 17. She's been driving. She learned how to drive a stick. So I was stoked to be able to teach her that and hand down that skill. But then she's just run with it, man. And she's been driving
she seems real comfortable driving around.
The 67 Scout 800, no top, no doors. her and her buddies just rip around in that thing, and she's creating this whole new set of memories that she'll carry forever. And like those trucks, someday she'll be the lady when she's older that goes like, oh man, I remember I used to drive one of these when I was a kid, and it was so awesome. And her friends absolutely love it. Her friends will just be like, Liv, can we go driving around in your Scout? Like, not to do anything, just to go drive around, which I love. And it's everything we talk about and get pumped about. So get out there, man. Fire up your Scout, fire up your Jeep, Bronco, FJ, whatever you got.
Whatever. Old Corolla.
Fire it up, go take an adventure. And let's meet up, man. We're going to try to also do more events and activities where we're just getting people together, kind of getting the New Legend community together and doing stuff. So look for those opportunities. We'll try to do something this fall. Got to get up to Wisconsin again. It's so rad. Okay, that's a wrap for this week. Look forward to talking to you next time. See you later.